For almost 3 weeks, my boyfriend came home late every single night. His excuse never changed. Work's been crazy. I'll be home as soon as I can. At first, I believed him. Why wouldn't I? I trusted him more than anyone. But then, little things started feeling off. He stopped telling me stories about his day. He smiled at his phone more than he smiled at me. And whenever it buzzed, he'd turn the screen away before I could even glance at it. I kept telling myself I was overthinking, until one ordinary Friday night, when I accidentally discovered something that completely changed the way I saw our relationship. Part 1. My boyfriend Ryan and I had been together for just over 2 years. Like any couple, we'd had our ups and downs, but we'd always found our way back to each other. We had traditions: Friday movie nights, Sunday morning coffee runs, late night conversations about our future. He wasn't just the person I loved. He was the person I imagined building my life with. So when work suddenly started keeping him late every evening, I didn't question it. He'd grab his laptop, kiss me goodbye, and smile. "Don't wait up. I'll probably be late again." I'd tell him to take care of himself and focus on work, because that's what supportive partners do. During the first week, nothing seemed unusual. But after that, something changed. Ryan used to come home talking nonstop about work, funny coworkers, difficult meetings, stressful deadlines. Now, whenever I asked how his day went, I'd get the same short answers. It was fine. Just busy. I'm exhausted. Then he'd immediately change the subject. At first, I ignored it. But eventually, the silence became louder than his words. Then there was his phone. Everyone deserves privacy. I truly believe that. But Ryan had never been secretive before. Now his phone never left his hand. He carried it into the kitchen, into the bathroom. Even when we watched movies together, it stayed face down beside him. One evening, while we were sitting on the couch, his screen lit up. I wasn't trying to read it. I simply looked over by accident. The notification disappeared almost instantly. But before it vanished, I noticed a red heart emoji. Ryan quickly picked up his phone and locked the screen. I smiled and casually asked, "Who's texting you this late?" He hesitated for just a second. Then he laughed. "Just Emma from work. She always sends random emojis." Emma. I'd heard plenty about Emma, but somehow that explanation didn't feel right. Not because of the emoji, because of the hesitation before he answered. For the first time, a small voice in the back of my mind whispered that something wasn't adding up. I tried to ignore it. I really did. Because sometimes, the truth is the last thing you want to believe. A few days later, Friday finally arrived. Around 8:30 that evening, Ryan sent his usual message. "Working late again. Don't wait for me. Nothing unusual." Or so I thought. About 20 minutes later, I got up to order dinner. As I walked into the living room, I noticed something sitting on the coffee table. His tablet. He almost never left it behind. I picked it up to move it out of the way. And that's when the screen suddenly lit up. A message notification appeared. I wasn't trying to invade his privacy. In fact, I almost put it back down. But one detail caught my attention immediately. The sender wasn't Emma. It was someone whose name I'd never seen before. And before I could convince myself to look away, another message appeared on the screen. The first few words made my heart stop. "I can't wait to see you again." In that moment, every late night, every short answer, every strange feeling I'd tried to ignore started coming back all at once. For a few seconds, I just stared at the screen. Maybe I was misunderstanding. Maybe there was a perfectly reasonable explanation. That's what I kept telling myself. Then another notification appeared. Last night was worth the wait. My stomach dropped. I slowly unlocked the tablet. I knew I probably shouldn't. I knew once I crossed that line, there would be no going back. But deep down, I think I already knew something was wrong. The conversation opened. There were weeks of messages, inside jokes, photos, plans to meet after work, and conversations that stretched back to almost the exact day. Ryan had started working late every night. I kept scrolling, hoping I'd find something that proved I was wrong. Instead, every message made the truth harder to ignore. My hands were shaking. Not because I was angry, because the person I trusted most suddenly felt like a complete stranger. Every excuse, every late night, every unanswered question, it all made sense now. And somehow, that hurt even more than not knowing. Part 5. I didn't call him. I didn't send an angry text.
I simply put the tablet back where I'd found it and sat quietly on the couch.
The apartment felt different, like it no longer belonged to us. Hours passed. Just before midnight, I heard his key slide into the front door. He walked inside carrying his laptop bag and smiled. "You're still awake?" I looked at him without saying a word. His smile slowly disappeared. "Is everything okay?" he asked. I reached over, picked up the tablet, and placed it in front of him. I didn't need to explain. The moment he saw the screen, his expression changed completely. The confidence he'd walked in with was gone. For several long seconds, neither of us spoke. The silence between us said more than words ever could.